Hey guys, welcome back to the Dion Gaming channel. That will be this video, the next video, and that'll be the end for me making a video for a while, as I want to take a break and I kind of wanted to enjoy the game. Now we are in the open beta test and stuff like that, and I said that a bunch of times, but now I kind of want to join the game without actually making any videos. So, there's something I actually talked to, and these are all expert maps and stuff like that, but there's something I talked to with the creator, the owner of the server and stuff like that, and he actually agreed that there should be it has a good feeling with the idea of having a good incentive reward for the finishing all expert map. So that's something you want to keep looking at for the future, as he wants it somewhere post release, I think. This is basically after the release. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind. However, the thing for the AMI being locked out as an achievement after the report is something that he does not like. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind, or maybe don't have to worry about. What I'm going to be speaking about is my experience right here for the expert map, and basically I try to do some of the expert map because I know there's going to be an incentive reward for the after the release of the game. So everybody beat the expert map will get something. I think it's 24 out of 26 because there's 2 maps that are not released or anything like that. So if you beat all expert, you're probably going to be getting something. I do not know what it is. I gave this suggestion a long time ago, where it's like 4,000 out of 420 or something like that during pre-release, because I wanted to see how many people can do the expert, but we're not sure what it's actually going to be. So this is just me doing one of the maps on the expert mode and stuff like that, and it's get very micromanaging and such. So if you're doing expert mode and you're doing it with your main decks or something like that, and not an efficient deck or anything like that, then you might want to be a little bit careful. It gets really harder, as doing anything that is efficient is much easier, and anything that is not efficient, such as your deck is main decks and stuff like that, is much harder. This is actually during the day that it was very crashy, which again it was yesterday and stuff like that, so I'm gonna crash a lot, but later on I'll show you that it did count it, all the expert map did count it. So here as well, something I learned here, it's quite new to me, is that I didn't know in expert map you had these birds flying around and trying to destroy everything. I mean, and they just don't goddamn stop, you know. So that's one thing you might try to get careful when you're doing each one of them. I guess I can suggest that you can watch videos or something like that. I don't like doing it like that. I kind of like to exploring and seeing how how my deck builds is for it. Like my own deck, this is my nature frost shadow and such, or my Lost Soul deck when I use it to be the maps. If I actually watch a video, the thing I hate about that is that then I'll be inclined of using the cards that they have, and then I have to buy their cards and stuff like that. That's not something I want to do. So so long as you actually handle the beginning area and have a good AMI, you don't have to worry about, you actually can finish all map and stuff like that. So I know that after the release that they wanted to actually do something to lock AMI away between the expert map and so on, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. So instead, if you actually get AMI, and if you actually get ammo, you'll be able to do it. If not, then you have to actually switch with cards. Like again, in Lost Soul, you will have to have the Lost Horror and stuff like that. I got to see right here. So again, a long time ago, over here it says last Thursday or so on, I actually asked where I can see my map, and I actually see it's 926, and then I show him 1426, which I showed him I am DCing in here, a bunch of DCs, but I'm able to actually when I finish the map, I'm able to count it towards the map solving. So it's now 14 out of 26. I then try Oceania, and I thought it would be actually much difficult, because the beginning area I knew that there was like this healing stuff and so on around. But after you use your ship and you go all the way around the map, there's a bottom left side where I finished one of the birds, and I summoned like a couple things in there. I think you can use the bird that actually tries to kill you. I think you can use it in there next to it. But I just summoned a couple monsters and destroyed it, and then gave me like a gun raid, which after that was just fucking easy though, all around the map. So that's something you want to keep an eye on the bottom left side and so on. And on top right, you get to actually have some mana wings. Like you own some mana wings if you do beat that area. I actually tried it here, and I felt that I didn't really need the heals at all. If I use the ships, they can actually like blast the whole thing. There's about 6 ships, and each ship has the recycle ability, and then each one heals for 300, something like that. It's times 3. It's like, like 9,000 heals per second or so, and so on and such. And so I used it there so you can see it quite in a minute. So I thought this Oceana was be hard, so I don't think it'll be hard, but you do have to time some things very quickly, such as when they come in the beginning, you want to have some anti-air on it. Primal Defender would be your best bet for this one. Or if you have ice, you can use the Defender or the Northern Keep. Northern Keep, you can use an ability that makes you like 100% immunity for it. So I tried to show right here what was my reward and so on, and then I moved to the next map. During this one, I used my nature, did not use my long soul or anything like that. This is the same hybrid nature and so on. And it's just so goddamn easy to, when you have like shamans, wind reavers, then you have a bunch of fucking aggressor, and then the crystal fiend. My crystal fiend just died in there, but I just summoned 2 more in there, and they actually do a 20% reduced damage onto it. There's another one with the green affinity, which actually has self regeneration, but I don't like that one. You know, I only like it when I actually fight a bunch of turrets, which makes it a little bit hard to kill. Another thing is the Matter Mastery is just goddamn easy. You steal their heal, and that's what I did in the Oceana. I stole the Matter, I did Matter Mastery right at the middle, where I stole their healing, and then now it's healing me completely. So that's one of the things that's awesome about going Nature Frost, and then I go Shadow. And the reason I love going Shadow again, Cultist Master with Equilibrium, and you use the ability and you use Equilibrium, and then you're all fighting with your bugs and stuff like that. You don't have to run away or anything like that. It just feels really good and feels very satisfying. I actually used right here the Necroblaster, and the reason I use the Necroblaster is because I'm starting to find out that these guys will not stop coming, and at one point I have to like summon some creatures and then not defend that area. You know, I was not defending that area, so I needed to defend that area. Again, over here, Emmy for the win, like always. Just so easy to finish anything because the monument is all the way at the bottom. It's hiding between a tier 4 Turunga and a bunch of other monsters like a Soul Hunter and so on. So it's very easy just to use the Emmy with the construction to make it a little cheaper. And here's the funny part is you'll find out later on that all this time that I use Emmy, I didn't use it fully maxed. It was actually level 1. I thought I maxed everything in my deck, and all this time, all this fucking video, I just want to keep. What I want you to keep in mind is that all this video I did not have at upgrade 3. Though it's only like 20 power less. 20 power is 20 powers, goddammit. So anyway, I just go right here, and it was quite funny when they summoned Umbawe, that it had 2 construct, and there was a Raven on the top right side, a Raven ship or something like that. They were just murdering my wells and everything. Like, as soon as that started, it blew up right there. It blew up my my monument. So now I have Revenge and Equilibrium at my disposal, and I still have some ships with the recycles in there if something were to bad happen. So I actually came back, destroyed that, and just cleared everything in there. It wasn't so hard. In the beginning, it may seem hard and stuff like that. You just got a macromanage of going with your Wind Weaver first, and then your Shamans has to be in the back and stuff like that. And you have to know when to retreat, and you have to actually hurry. Because at one point, as you saw, these cannon guys just come in there and try to wipe out your whole group and stuff and such and such. So that was actually quite easy. I'll go ahead and finish that right there. And during that time, it was like 7 something. So this here's my reward, but it was during 7 something, which again I got the it stopped at 7 something. It stopped doing the DC stuff. So I was quite happy that I told that to Cupid and all that. This map, however, it took me about an hour and stuff like that. And let me tell you something. When you're trying to do something with your goddamn deck, it's not as easy as you think. So what I try to do here is I try to rush it to the bottom right side because I really want to use my Lost Soul launchers. The Lost Soul launchers are very, very good launchers, you know, the red affinity and such. And what happened was that the Abomination went ahead and destroyed the middle. Like I had no more orb in the middle, so I couldn't summon, since it's ice and everything is ice, T1 units, I couldn't summon nothing in there. So what I did at one point is that I still had 1 unit in the back, and that's made me survive and such. So here's the most freaking hilarious part. When you do that, when it destroys your middle monument, here's what I found out. The Abomination doesn't go for your second one. So they just stack up at the 3rd monument, which is on top. So I thought to myself, it's like, okay, so I'm going to let like time build, protect me, and trust me, it was really hard because I got these fire twilight dancer or something like that hits from far away and tries to destroy all my lost launcher. Like they destroy it in completion maybe 12 after I keep rebuilding it and so on. And if I have to go out there to fight them, they're accompanied with big creatures and stuff like that. In here I just use the recycle ability for the heals right before the Skycatcher hit me, because if it does hit me, I can't use anything. I can't use spells and I can't use ability. So one of the things I did is there was 5 abomination on top of the 3rd monument, and what I did is that I summoned the construction, put about 3 lost soul. Once I got close to it, I shut the wall. Both abominations were coming from both sides, so I shut the other wall. And then after that, I used home soil, and my lost dancer actually with the launcher literally obliterated 5 abomination. Hashtag lost dancer is not a weak card or anything like that. So after that, I went ahead, grabbed a monument, and that's where I got my tier 4 with the Emmy monument and such. And I actually tried it to get the top left side, but all 12 lost dancer died. So I was literally with no unit, always summoning 1 unit waiting for the full cooldown, because that right there, that Skycatcher literally destroyed the living crap out of all of them on the top left. So I actually finished that, get to the my little reward and stuff and such, and then I see that during that time it's where I show you that I got my next 14 out of 26 and so on. Here I actually try to do it with a friend of mine. And this is where I want to show you that it's a little bit kind of like rough depending on what type of deck you use. I wanted to use my Lost Soul for this one. It has a great defending and so on, so this is my Lost Soul deck, just trying it. I tried to defend it at the beginning area, then later on when I reach on top, I try to defend everything else. This is actually from the beginning, because the other one has a little thing where my friend is a little bit slow on his side, even though his side is actually much easier. You only get like 2 explosion with 1 bug, while I get an explosion, a bug with 4 bug that is 4 units. It has 4 on it, and then I have another bug on top, which is the one he has, and then I have another unit on top. So see, if you look very closely, his side is much easier than mine, so he shouldn't have too much trouble. But later on, he finds out that my deck works pretty well and he likes it, so he switched to actually using the Lost Soul deck and so on. So in the beginning, he actually, he uses some of the ice, and then he switched to nature, has some little problem with it, then switches to Lost Soul. He made a Lost Soul deck basically because of it. You'll see that more in a little bit more later. As you see right here, he is actually first, and he should be first on top. And the reason that is because his is much faster, his area much easier and faster than mine. So I try to. One of the things I really hate is that is the same thing I saw in the Behind the Lines. It's so goddamn annoying. It's just the same thing as a Lost Dancer, but the Twilight, their units are always stronger than ours. Their Skycatcher is stronger than ours. Their Twilight Fire Dancer, whatever that shit's called, is stronger than us. The Lost Dancer, Fire Dancer, their everything is just stronger than ours. Even the freaking Lost Launcher cannot be Matter Mastery. So in here, I basically go back and forward and such when I see it, and then I try to get my top left side. Now, one other thing here that I showed him at a point is that at bottom he sees the abomination. I told him top side is where you should go, but mine has an abomination. My top left side has an abomination. His top right side does not have an abomination. So everything on his right as a second player is much easier than mine, and so you shouldn't have much trouble. But later on, we actually go ahead and start up again. The reason that is because we only had like 10 minutes to actually finish this. We had 30 minutes in the beginning, but I told him that it's not going to be impossible, but he wanted to try it anyway, and so on. So again, I always summon him just on time, just quick enough and stuff like that. I get to my side much quicker on his side, so he shouldn't have much trouble. And then I noticed that he said he fucked up and stuff like that, and I told him, just tell me where you fucked up and stuff like that, because again, there's so many micromanaging and so many things that's happening in here that I need to know where. He actually told me he on his right side basically. So I just went right ahead and told him to reclaim it, and I'm going to clear your area. Now I think it would be much easier always to clear my area, because then I don't have to worry out the back and such. But since my ships were already there, and I would never send my ships. I would never ever send my ships alone like that. They have to have the recycle. They don't have any heal or anything like that. So I told them at one point that, you'll have to heal me. You'll have to use your equilibrium and stuff like that to heal me, because I can't. It's gonna die against the what's it called? the abomination and stuff like that. I don't have heals or anything like that, and there's no ground unit or anything like that to actually summon some of the lost invocation. Either way, his size gets up like literally like blabber, you know, like destroyed and stuff like that on the top right side at one point. So we actually start this again. The server kicks us out and stuff like that. We don't have enough time and such. The server kicks us out and I actually try to do it one more time. After the server, he decided that he wanted to go with the deck, with the there it is. I got kicked. He wanted to use the Lost Soul. Now the thing is, he doesn't have the Lost Spirit ship, and he's using Amy. Later I told him then I'm gonna take my Amy out and use Lost Soul, and he's like, nah, you can use yours. I told him you can. Okay, but you know, either you or I use it. We both can't use it, unless we share it and stuff like that. This is one way we can do it, but again, that just a little bit too stressful going back and forward and stuff like that, and we have tried it like that. So later on, here's where I noticed that I wasn't using the Emmys with the power cost of choosing an over 20 less. Seriously, all that time? Absolutely, congratulations, that was actually funny. So then we start up here one more time for this map, so we can actually do, because I wanted to finish all expert map and stuff like that, and later on I have to find out some people for the part 4 player and stuff like that. So he actually copies the same strategy and such, and then later on I move up and so on and try to finish. I move to a little bit to the right because I don't want to actually aggro that one. Again, he has it much easier. He has 2 of the abomination on the right again, but that same thing I have it, but it's just not in conjunction. I just some of the left and some of the right, and that's it. I actually repaired the tower this time because I don't want them to actually die, and then send my Master Archer in there as my cross mage to just go ahead and claim the 2 power well. After that, remember, I'm using my main deck, so I want to use my main deck. I don't want to use any freaking efficient deck to actually beat this map or anything like that. Then I have to buy fucking cards and all that. So after that, I go ahead and let the right side. I actually forget to bring the ice barrier. That's 2 times that I fucking forgot to bring the ice barrier. So I go ahead and just summon the towers. Go ahead, so he can help me out. Then I use the home soil to actually destroy everything else. And you will see it on his side is always better. Like, he actually used 2 of the towers and stuff like that. You don't have to do too much about it. Since I am actually first, and he is actually right now a little bit slow on the side. Most of the time people only think about themselves and such, but I always think about my teammates and such. So I actually start clearing the top left on my side, and then summon the 2 real quickly, just summon the 2 construction hut, and then move to the right side so I can move them in while leaving some of the units out there. He actually arrives, but again I move it to Rogan, and then start clearing. I could have just easily destroy all my creatures and stuff like that, so I can get power much quicker, so I don't have to face it like this. But again, I want to make sure that his side was like okay before I move to my area and such. And I should see, if you actually look at the right, it's like it was a little bit meh and such. So again, these fire dancer Twilight Dancer, I guess, so let's call it that because I don't even know the fucking name of it at the moment. I just summoned the Phoenix just to finish it, but this time I'm actually going with my Shadow Phoenix. It's the RPVE technical build that I have for it, where I use Embalmment and a bunch of Phoenix. And let me show you, I did do this in 2 men as well, and it's just so goddamn fucking easy to use Shadow Phoenixes. Almost feel like nothing, like using, I don't know, wheels in incredible modes. It just feels like that, and you'll see what I mean just in a couple seconds and so on. He's like, how do I kill this bitch? And I told him that you have to go over there and face her. You gotta get your units in the bottom right side to die, or open the door, like those enemy units has to die, and then you just go up there and smack her in the face and so on. So now I'm summoning a couple bursts and such, and I have to wait just a bit because I have to look down. I have to make sure that bitch is actually dead and so on. So I summon like 2 of the Shadow Phoenix. One, I thought one would be enough, but it wasn't. So I used another one, and it finished it off. And again, my towers just finished the area. Right there, I just start moving ahead. I go ahead and use my Master Archer to go ahead and bait them into it closer. And then I use the Shadow Phoenix with Embalmment. And look, seriously, goddamn easy. Just face roll into that keyboard if you like, because it's so goddamn easy, instead of using the Lost Dancer. And you know, I really wanted to do the Lost Dancer, hashtag Lost Dancer. It's not weak, but again, Shadow Phoenix is just too overpowered, and so I use the Shadow Phoenix and everything just blabbed. It just explodes. Too easy. Anyway, I go ahead and during this time I try to stall a bit because I'm going to use the Ami Monument again, and this time I'm actually going to clear part of my sides. I see
he's supposed to be able to clear his side easily. There's no abomination on the top right side, but he's having some a little bit more difficult and stuff like that. I think it's because he's using the Lost Reaver and such. And Lost Dancer is much better because not only does he have AoE, it has He's damage. And, you know, with that right there, you actually can destroy building. But if you target someone, it hits them. You know, if there's an AoE damage onto it when it targets. So I start using some of the recycle, just a small amount in here. And then I start moving up. Watch what my boy actually said as, I hate this. No heal. Well, now you know how my life is, man. And then later on I gotta say like my life is like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Because I have no heal, now you know how I feel.
My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh. My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh. My life be like, yeah, my life be like times like these that make me say, yeah, Lord, if you see me, please come my way. Like leaving breadcrumbs rolling on stray. Yeah, I'm sacrificing the price you pay. Like living like a figure tale. Sometimes I fall, I slip. Yeah, more feelings I mean, more like you. Yeah, not to put your fire with the things I do. I'm on an island by my lonesome stranded. Low key and staying candid. Reflect on all the things I try my hand at. Search for the equation to persuasions I'm used to. Finding comfort in the zones of closet bones I get loose to. A mountain is Fontaine. Spinning in monsoon and grinning is high octane. Explosive how I came. Rolling down the hills cause life's a hassle. Encircled by my folly like a moat around the castle. Stay afloat. Catch a second wind. Then is the air I breathe. Teary-eyed nose running. Wipe the snot on my sleeve. I'm calling on the savior to be all that I need. Please forgive me my behavior. Have me lost in light speed. Times like these that make me say, yeah, Lord, if you see me, please come my way. Like leaving breadcrumbs rolling on stray. Yeah, well, I'm sacrificing the price you pay. Like living like a figure tale. Sometimes I fall, I slip. Yeah, more feelings I mean, more like you. Try not to put your fire with the things I do. Like
the fear of never falling in love, and the tears after losing the feelings of what you thought love was. Like the dirt still up under the rug.
my life be like
Bad characteristics covered in Christ's blood. The joy of new birth and the pain of growing up. The bliss between giving my all and giving up. The highs and lows, paths and roads I chose. In the cold I froze, trying to ease my woes in this world of sin. Close too thin to fit, so the God I send words of help to win. And grumbling so deep letters can never express. So the sounds of ooh ah beneath my breath will chest.
Alright, so basically after, you know, yeah, my boy did this. We did another map, but I didn't record it or anything like that. But me and my boy did this already. Like we went in with tunnel just to check, even with tunnel, just to check if I can use it and he can use it, if we can go through it or anything like that, so we can go back and forth and such. So I was supposed to test this only, try to solo it, just so I can see how you know all the areas is, how far can I get or stuff like that. And that was a mistake because I actually was able to actually solo this goddamn map, but it was actually fucking annoying. I was supposed to go in, see how it is, you know, for the first try, because again, when it's 2 players, you might reset so many times and stuff like that. When it's 1 player, you might only reset like 1 or 2 and stuff like that. But you know, I went in and the bottom left is annoying as hell. And since there's something I could have done here, look, I could have went up top, I could have gotten the purple monument instead of like ice monument, and I could have switched both to like a launcher. But then again, that's not my nature. Frost shadow deck, you know. Yes, it will be efficient. Instead of stone hurlers, I can just fucking put like a couple, and not even a bunch of them, like just 5 launchers, and it'll just destroy everything in there, and I don't even have to worry about it. But then again, it's not my deck, and I'm just so fucking stubborn that I want to use my deck. So again, many times I got like annihilated. This thing almost lasted for an hour and stuff like that, because at one point, like right here, I didn't know that these guys was actually going to the ace part, and there's also come down. That's another thing I didn't know, that they actually start coming down and such. So they can annihilate that abomination and everything else, just annihilated everything. But too late, I summoned the enemy monument, and instead I go ahead and destroy one of my ore on top. So I don't have my lost launcher, but again, I can do this for what I'm about to do right now, which again, tier 3 cultist master. I was just going to spend the living crap of Cultist Masters in there, you know? And then I was going to destroy all of these and put the Necro Blaster just to blast everything through here. And then I don't have to worry about it. Like, I only needed 4, but just for a couple, again, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know if an abomination or anything like that. And I don't watch videos of these, so I don't know what the hell is going to happen. So, again, I just put, like, for precaution, I put 4 on front, and then a couple more in the back, just in case something bad happens or stuff like that. Later on, I take it out because I didn't see any abominations and such. But again, I feed it with the Cultist Master. Such a good goddamn card, feeding it those Necro Blaster with the Cultist Master, all those bugs in there. And then I also use it on the furnace on the on the right side of the Emmy because I also wanted to get the remaining of those power and stuff like that. I put some Chalmers in there, not much, because again, I ran out of T1. I didn't even have T2. T2 was like 1 charge of everything. That's how bad that this was actually for me. If I did it again, I would know how to do it now, easier and stuff like that. But I didn't want to quit. I already made it this far. I'm saying, like, you know what? I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way. I'm so curious to how far I can go. So then I see there's some parts in here that have like a wild sapper and such, and I said to myself, I'm going in with my equilibrium. I'm just going in some of the bugs and stuff like that, and equilibrium. And I finished that side. Then I noticed that the left bottom side are staying there. They're not going inside there. And then I noticed, like, oh, you need to have someone in there to push them in there. So that's what I did. I just summoned I put it like a building into one animal or something like that. The building was basically a Stranglethorn, purple. And the reason that is just to like stall something, like for a couple seconds and all that. So I stalls it, and I go in the bottom, use equilibrium, and then just wipe them whole out in the bottom left because it keeps summoning. And later on, I did not know this either. I didn't know. I thought that once I cleared that area completely, that they would just go top right side, right? Just like to the objective area. I didn't know they would keep coming down or anything like that. So later on, they do come down. They come down and they wipe my whole area. They wipe my orb and they wipe my power wave and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm coming down. And I'm going to put a bunch of Necro Blaster. So I think I skipped that over here. But again, I started destroying some of these. Started using the Cultist Master just ability and stuff like that. And started using the chip because I was going to go to the right side and so on. But again, that actually screwed me over. It got me pretty good. So when I actually come back, I actually, you know, I put some Necro Blaster on the bottom left side, and then I start clearing the mirror because I have no more power. But then again, I don't know if I'll need it and stuff like that, so I wanted to be precautions. So I clear everything else, start using the juice tank and the resource booster and stuff like that. And then later, since I had too much power, about 3,000 and stuff like that, I just go ahead and just, you know, I took away the resource booster and stuff like that and just kept the juice tank. Now I had to. Here's the thing is, I didn't have my gem IO. I put tunnel because I wanted to see what happens, you know, if we get it as a test, and I was gonna take it out. But because I did not leave the match because I kept going, I don't have my gem eye. So now I have to put a couple buildings with stuff like that so I can grab each objectives because I don't have a ground unit or anything like that, and put a couple of Necro Blaster. Once I touch each area, which this is almost close to 2 hours, you know, once I touch its area and I'm able to like have it because all I have is 2 area unit, like giant worm and then the ships, then everything just came down. I just went down and I tried to protect it as much as I can because that's what happened in standard. So I'm like, holy goodness, everything is just going blaster. And you know, this is actually in fast speed, but to tell you, be honest with you, when you're actually playing this in normal mode, your heart is pumping for a bit. But after a while, I just noticed that I don't have to really worry too much. It did scare me just a bit on the left side. At one point, they started destroying my wall, and I thought I was going to go in my monument. But then again, I saw that I still had some ships with at least some, not a lot, but some of the recycle and stuff like that, and I could have just summoned a couple more recycle just for me to actually suck up and all that. So once I saw this, I thought I was gonna be in trouble, so I put like 2 stalling things, but they actually don't come down the left or anything like that, so it's all good. In this map, I ended up finishing it alone, which I should have been able to I was waiting for my friend or something like that, but again, he has a lot of stuff to do with college and so on, so I didn't know how long it would have been and such. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be playing with an old friend after I make one of the video for the winner of the last challenge, the Encounter Twilight and the Defend Hope. Then I'm going to stop with challenge for a while because I don't see too many people actually doing it or anything like that, and I just wanted to have fun in here. So what I have here is the Folder's Elder and the Twilight Pestilence for the reward. And that will be the end of this video. And I guess, I don't know, you know, I'll see you whenever. Bye bye.